At the beginning of the story, we see a man thrust his blade at our protagonist. Our protagonist called the man's thrust a perfect stab. He realized that this was the 17th time he was seeing the technique. The guy closed his eyes and allowed the sword to stab him. As the man spat out some blood, he realized that this was his 17th death, as his body slowly fell to the ground. Our protagonist contemplated on what his life would have been like if he had wielded his sword with more efforts. The soldier pulled out his sword and walked away from our boy. Our protagonist fell to the ground and was covered in his blood. Before losing consciousness, Encrid wondered if he would have survived if he had worked a bit harder. The moment our boy died, he got transported to another realm. In this realm, we see a mysterious being in a boat holding a lantern. The moment our boy opened his eyes, the mysterious being asked him if he really thinks that he can change his fate if he worked harder. The entity asked our boy to keep struggling. He told him that he will soon give up after he faces a wall that he cannot overcome. Our boy grit his teeth in anger. He did not like what he was hearing. The scene shifts and we see someone slamming a huge spoon on a pot. This was done in order to wake the soldiers of the camp. Encrid opened his eyes when he heard the sound of the pot. When he raised his head up, a man next to him was surprised. The man referred to our boy as squad commander. The man who was trying to put on his shoes was surprised to see that his commander woke up early. Our boy turned to the man who he calls Rim and told him that there are bugs in his boots. Rim was surprised to hear this. He immediately shook the boots. To his surprise, a bug came out of his boots. Rim crushed the bug with his leg. After killing the bug, the man asked his commander if he was the one who put the bugs in his boots. He believed that his commander was trying to play a stupid prank on him. Our boy asked Rim to shut up. He told the man that he saw the bug crawl into his boot. Our boy turned to see the bug. He realized that this was the 18th time he was seeing the insect. As he walked out of his tent, Encrid wondered if he will be able to end his loop if he sees the corpse of the bug for a few more times. Encrid has been wielding a sword since he was young. He learned his swordsmanship from a retired mercenary who coincidentally came to his village. After managing to overpower his teacher told him that he is good enough to become a knight. This word shocked Encrid. He began to dream of himself as a knight. In this world, a knight is a person who can slay 1,000 people by himself. He could even alter the dynamics of a battlefield. A knight is an invincible hero. Encrid believed that he would become a knight that ends wars. He wanted people to refer to him as the Knight of the End. Our boy saw himself as one of the protagonists which the wandering minstrel sang about. He decided to leave his village and chase after his dream. The scene shifts and we see a bunch of men in a pub. While drinking, the men laughed about the newbie who was scared of a mere stray dog even though he wanted to be a knight. With a smile on his face, a man with red hair looked over to Encrid and told him that he is not even good enough to become a free mercenary. While the men were laughing at him, Encrid slowly tightened his bandages. After our boy left his village and joined the mercenary corps, he realized that his talent was nothing special. Although Encrid realized that he was not talented, he was not willing to give up because of some setbacks. He believed that his hard work will never betray him. Our boy continued to train hard. He believed that with time and effort, he will be able to overcome all his problems. Encrid spent his time training and gaining experience. He gained the strength and endurance that allowed him to be acknowledged by those around him. Encrid was certain that he could become a knight. Unfortunately for the young man, his strong hope was shattered when he lost a duel. In the village which Encrid was staying at, a child requested for a duel. The boy was 12 years old and he only started swordsmanship 6 months ago. With a look of disappointment on his face, the little boy told Encrid that he is quite weak. Our boy could not believe what was happening. He had spent a decade wielding his sword to the point where his palms were wrecked, and yet he still lost to a genius who only started his journey 6 months ago. As the boy walked away, Encrid wondered if all his efforts were in vain. Our boy did not want to accept his fate. Instead of giving up, Encrid wielded his sword with more determination. He did not care if anyone belittled him. He did not care that people called his dream a hopeless thing. Encrid did not focus on what people said. He reduced his sleeping and eating time. He only focused on swinging his sword. Our boy swung his sword endlessly. He believed that one day, he would achieve his goal. After swinging his sword for a while, Encrid took a look at the tree he was swinging at. The young man realized that he had not made any real improvements. Our boy picked up his sword and swung it again. He realized that he could never become a knight. He decided to become a good soldier. Encrid screamed out when he came upon this realization. He did not like the fact that he had to settle for less. 3 years later, we see that our boy has joined the Cypress division. The Cypress division has 4 companies. Below the 4 companies are the 4 platoons. Below the platoons are the 4 squads. Encrid became the squad commander of a so-called second-rate squad. This was the best position that our boy could achieve after his endless training. While Encrid did not like his life, it was still much beneficial for him to be a soldier than a traveling mercenary. The scene shifts and we are taken back to the present. After Encrid stepped out of the tent, he sees one of his members. He called out to a man known as Jackson. The man turned to his commander and asked him about what he needs. Encrid asked Jackson to do his morning duty rotation for today. The man glared at our boy when he heard this. He stood up and asked his commander to repay him next time. Rem was annoyed to see how Jackson stared at our boy. He called the man a wicked bastard. Encrid called out to Rem. The man asked his commander if he has something he wants to make him do. With a serious look on his face, our boy asked Rem to teach him the heart of the beast. Rem was surprised to hear this. With a smug look on his face, the man reminded his commander that he gave up on learning it the last time. He asked Encrid to tell him why he believes that he will be able to learn it today. After receiving his lesson from Rem, the Nalilia versus Aspen close combat battle began. As usual, our boy was killed in battle. He returned to the same day and relived the day over again. Although Encrid was able to learn the heart of the beast from Rem, he is still unable to see the tip of the sword that stabs him. In his 21st regression, our boy had completely memorized the repetitive situation. While he was beating up an enemy soldier, a soldier tried to stab him with a spear. Encrid was barely able to dodge the spear. The moment he dodged the attack, he used his shield to block the attack from another soldier behind him. After blocking the attack, our boy looked at a soldier next to him. The soldier's name is Vel and he is from another squad. Encrid remembered that Vel was going to die soon. While the soldier was fighting, someone shot an arrow at him. Our boy moved behind Vel and used his shield to block the arrow. Vel turned his head when he heard the sound of the arrow hitting Encrid's shield. While the soldier was distracted, an enemy tried to attack him from above. Before the man was able to land his attack, our boy used his sword to cut off his head. In his last life, Vel died immediately after he blocked the arrow. Encrid was happy to see that he was able to achieve his first goal. After achieving his goal, our boy turned to see his next variable. He saw his biggest obstacle in the battlefield. The soldier had just finished killing one of our boy's comrades. The man took out his sword and turned to our boy. Encrid was annoyed with the fact that he will always face the insane soldier without fail. As the soldier walked towards him, our boy took a stance. He reflects on the fact that this man has killed him 20 times. He decided to change his fate in this regression. With a smile on his face, the man rushed to attack our boy. As the man ran towards him, Encrid remembered what Rem said to him when he was teaching him. While swinging his axe, Rem told our boy that he always closes his eyes anytime he is in a dangerous situation. Immediately Rem said this. He swiftly moved his axe to his commander's neck, and as he expected, our boy closed his eyes. Rem told Encrid that he will die immediately if he keeps closing his eyes in the battlefield. He explained to our boy that he needs to be brave and become less agitated. He asked Encrid to become a bastard who does not know anything about death. Our boy was surprised to hear this. With a horrifying look on his face, Rem asked his commander to become a beast. The scene shifts and we are taken back to the present. As the soldier thrust his sword at Encrid, our boy opened his eyes widely. He wondered if he is afraid of death. He believed that death was meant to make him stronger. Encrid carefully moved to the side and barely managed to dodge the attack. The moment he dodged the attack, our boy's heart began to beat faster. The soldier could not believe that Encrid actually dodged his stab. Encrid was happy to see that he finally managed to dodge the attack on his 21st try. The soldier turned to our boy and changed his stance. Encrid also turned around and got ready to attack the man. Before our boy's sword could reach his enemy, the man used his sword to stab him in the neck. Encrid grit his teeth as blood gushed out of his neck. In the next scene, our boy finds himself in the other world. The mysterious being asked him to stop his pain. He asked him to get in the boat. He told Encrid that he needs to acknowledge his weak self and be at ease. While on his knees, Encrid told the being that he cannot accept such a fate. With a smile on his face, our boy called the mysterious being a useless bastard and told him that he will never give up. Encrid was satisfied with the fact that he had made progress. He was now able to see the soldier's sword, and he could now dodge the attack. In the next scene, our boy returned to the same day and he saw Rim by his side. Encrid decided to challenge the battle again for the 22nd day. In the next scene, we see our boy fighting for his 33rd time. At this point, Encrid can now see and clearly dodge the attack. The only problem our boy was facing was that he is not able to dodge the next attack because the soldier is too fast. The man stabbed Encrid in the neck. Our boy's necklace got cut off when he was stabbed and his body fell to the ground. His necklace had a very unique charm on it. In his time as a mercenary, Encrid took on a few requests to subjugate monsters. In his travels, Encrid stumbled upon a village where he was asked for help. Our boy was asked to subjugate some monsters. Although Encrid was not compelled to help, he helped the village because of his dream. Our boy believed that it is a knight's responsibility to protect the weak. After taking care of the monsters, the head of the village gave our boy something else instead of money. He told Encrid that their village is poor and the item is all they have. When our boy looked at his hand, he noticed that the village head gave him a charm. Encrid was surprised to see the charm. At the time, our boy thought that the charm was a laughable reward for his mission. The head of the village told Encrid that the charm will grant him whatever he desperately prays for. As his eyes slowly closed, our boy wondered if the charm was making the day repeat in order to allow him become a knight. While Encrid was on the ground, the soldier walked up to him. He asked our boy if he is in pain. Encrid tried to push himself up when he heard the man's question. The man raised his sword and told our boy that he will grant him some mercy. Encrid looked up and glared at the soldier when he heard this. Our boy knew that the soldier does not care about mercy. He believed that the soldier was simply an insane person who enjoys stabbing people. With a disturbing smile on his face, the man used his sword to kill Encrid. In the next scene, Encrid woke up to his 34th regression. He told Rim that he kept a bug in his boots. Rim quickly shook his boot to see if his commander was joking. To his surprise, there was actually a bug in his boot. The man was annoyed to see the bug. He asked his commander to tell him why he is playing such a prank on the battle day. He asked Encrid if he has finally lost his mind. Our boy asked his teammate to shut up. He asked Rim to step outside. He told the man that he wants to learn the heart of the beast. Rim was surprised to hear this. The scene shifts and we see Rim attack his commander with his axe. Encrid kept his eyes open and carefully dodged Rim's attack. Rim was shocked to see this. The man took away his axe and asked Encrid to tell him why the skin of his heart was suddenly much thicker. Our boy told his teammate that he has been training. Rim was surprised to hear this. He told our boy that the skill cannot be learnt so quickly. Fortunately for Encrid, this was the 10th time he was learning the technique. It did not make sense to Rim that his commander was able to learn his family's secret technique. The man's suspicion was correct. Our boy learnt the technique thanks to his numerous deaths. Encrid picked up his sword and told Rim that he might have learnt the technique from somewhere else. Our boy asked his teammate to not focus on things that are not important. Encrid picked up his sword and took a stance. He asked Rim to spar with him again. The man decided to not pry further. He was quite excited to spar with his commander. Although the heart of the beast is a good technique, it will still be useless if the user cannot land an attack. Encrid decided to focus on improving his swordsmanship. Rim swung his axe at our boy. Encrid was able to dodge the attack because he kept his eye open. He began to dodge all the attacks that Rim threw at him. With a smile on his face, Rim asked his commander to stop dodging and face him directly. Immediately he said this, he swung his axe at our boy's face. Encrid was barely able to dodge the attack. Rim managed to land a cut on his face. The moment Encrid dodged the attack, he realized that the only sword technique he knows is the Valen mercenary sword technique. It is an anomalous technique made by a mercenary known as Valen. It is a sword technique which most people call a petty trick. While Encrid was thinking, Rim rushed to attack him. The man told his commander that his lower body strength is very weak. The moment Encrid heard this, he realized that he knew a decent sword technique. Our boy took a new stance. Rim was shocked to see this. Encrid thrust his sword the same way the insane soldier does. Unfortunately for him, Rim is able to block the attack. The man knocked the sword out of our boy's hand. The moment his sword fell off his hand, Encrid realized that he imitated the same stab as the insane soldier. Since our boy had died to the technique several times, his body vividly remembered it. Rim told his commander that the stab he used is the most decent technique he has used so far. He swung his axe to show Encrid the right step he needs to take when using the technique. The man told his commander that his hands need to bleed for him to perfectly use the technique. Rem explained to our boy that he is too doubtful of himself. He told him that he is always wondering about what he will do if an attack fails or is blocked. The man raised his axe and told his commander that he needs to think that his attack will kill his opponent. Rem explained to Encrid that he will grip his sword tightly if he believes in himself. Our boy was surprised to hear this. Although Rem's explanation was poor, Encrid understood what he was saying. The scene shifts and we see our boy at the battle. The moment Encrid was stabbed in the neck by the soldier, he realized that the difference between his stab and the soldier's stab is that he does not have any confidence in his sword. The moment our boy fell to the ground, the soldier offered him some mercy by stabbing him in the neck before he died. Encrid realized that he must stab with the intent to kill. In his next life, we see our boy training with Rem. The man knocks his sword out of his hand. At the battlefield, we see the soldier smiling as he was about to grant our boy his mercy. Although Encrid continued losing, he did not falter. He was satisfied with improving himself, even if it is just a tiny improvement. Even after reaching his 123rd regression, Encrid did not lose hope in himself. He grit his teeth and continued to push forward. On his 124th day, our boy finally used his stab to push Rem back. When Rem looked at his commander's face, he noticed something odd. He asked Encrid if he is crazy. He reminded our boy that his hands are bleeding heavily because they are worn out. Although Encrid was in a bad shape, Rem could not comprehend why he was laughing like a crazy person. Our boy was happy to see that he had finally mastered the stab of the perverted soldier. Guys, we have come to the end of our video. If you guys want part 2 of this recap, let me know in the comments section. Don't forget to like and smash that subscribe button for more recaps. See you guys later.